What's up, everybody? It's Bryson Carter from the Journey Podcast. Just wanted to take a minute to clear up the fact that we are not professionals, and what you hear on this podcast is just opinions from people that really inspire me, and hopefully it'll bring the same amount of inspiration to you as well. But if you legit are struggling with depression or how you feel about yourself, please go see a professional. There are professionals out there that can help you, and we are not those professionals. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it that can help you on your day-to-day life journey.
It's because I'll put it this way. Something that I always think about whenever I'm like, I don't know if I should do something, like if I should go for this, do that, whatever. I think about like two things. And it's one, like, I don't want to look back at my life, at something that I didn't do, that I didn't try, and feel regret for that.
Welcome, Journey family, to episode number 9 of the Journey Podcast. I'm very happy that you decided to listen today because today is a very special episode for me. 6 months ago, I decided to embark on a journey, hence the name of the podcast, where I wanted to interview people that were very inspirational to me and hopefully would bring the same amount of inspiration to you. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I brought back the same dude that said yes to doing the podcast 6 months ago to kick this whole thing off. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Rylan Thrasher.
Hello. It is very nice to be back. Hopefully, with good audio. Hoping. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I messed it up the first time, but this time I got good hopes for it.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been 6 months. It's been a while. I bet you missed me. Well, I'm back. And I'm better than ever because I'm not sick and I've had 6 months more of life experience. All right, let's get into the questions.
All right, man. All right. Well, the first question I got for you, man. All right, let's talk about setbacks.
Oh, setbacks.
All right, in life, when you're on the journey to where you want to go,
Yep.
You're gonna setbacks and failures are inevitable.
Absolutely.
I mean, take the first time I tried to do my ground school test for my pilot stuff, I failed it. You go back and you do it again, and that win is if the win feels good.
Yeah.
But even for everybody, it is hard to know if it's going to work out, especially when setbacks or failures happen, to get back up and keep going and to just go after what you want in life. What would you suggest to people to be able to handle setbacks the best way possible to keep going and it lead them further down the road to their success?
Support groups. Genuinely, the thing that has kept me going, because I mean it's a problem with myself. I am very much a bit of a perfectionist, especially when it comes to stuff that I do in my life. So when I don't do well or I have a failure, a setback, it kind of gets to me sometimes. But it's always the people around me that help drag me out of that and remind me, like, hey, failure, you don't fail truly until you give up. Is so long as you keep moving, keep pushing forward, and you learn. That's the most important part, is learning from your failures. Then you'll always find a way to bounce back. So long as you have the motivation and the drive to keep going, like you'll make it. So it's surround yourself with good people that'll keep you moving, won't let you get away with anything, and will keep you honest and humble. Humility is good.
Absolutely. Yeah. We talked about getting with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to students who, and remember, guys, we're not professionals.
Nope.
And I know a while back ago I said this is a student-based podcast, but I've really enjoyed doing this, and I plan to do it further. So this is for people. I'm a student. He's a student, but that's okay. Like, we're learning, and that's the importance is to want to learn. So, in your opinion, people who are in the wrong group,
Yeah.
and they know it,
Mhm.
and they want to get out of it, but they're not sure how to, or like what to do in order to not be rude, or
The Band-Aid off. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Just like if you know that you are in a group of like bad people who aren't helping you develop
yeah,
in the way that you want, or that are just doing something stupid, like, completely idiotic or illegal, like, I'm sorry, but the longer that you stay with them, the worse that it's gonna get for you. So you just have to, like, I know, oh, I don't want to be rude. No, if they're like that bad for you that you yourself can realize, because most of the time in situations like that, when people are in bad groups, they don't really know it, and that's why they like struggle to pull away from them. But if you are aware that you're in a bad group, just like get out, leave. I don't know what else to say other than just you need to rip the band-aid off before like before you get in too deep and you can't leave.
Absolutely. And that's hard to do.
It is.
Um,
That's
yeah.
I
I've
mean
been
I'm
go for it, sorry.
yeah, but I mean that's obviously especially if it's people that you've known for like a while and
Yeah,
you are good friends with, but like you you just need to take stock of your life, man. And if they're not good for you, they're only doing bad things, if they're not helping you get to where you want to be, or if they're doing something illegal, genuinely just leave. Don't interact with them because any more that you do will only get you in deeper trouble.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. So we'll switch gears to the dream side of things because
Mm,
a big part of your journey is going after what you want.
mhm,
Go and not necessarily, let me rephrase it, not necessarily what you want, what you're called to do.
mhm.
As followers of Jesus, and if you're not a follower of Jesus, that's
Yeah.
okay. Like I said before in previous podcast episodes, like I suggest that you try it. It's changed our lives. It
Oh,
it could change yours
right.
if it doesn't. It could or it couldn't, but I suggest to try it because yeah, it's definitely changed a lot of our lives. And as a follower of Jesus, we have a calling. People, there's a big difference between necessarily what you want to do and what you're called to do, but most of the time, what you're called to do is what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So, as young people, if young people are listening to this, and even if you're not, if you're in a job right now where you don't really know rather to go after what you want or your dreams and you're kind of feeling that urge to just get out there and get it done and go for it, we suggest to do it. But what would you suggest to people who are afraid to chase their dreams because of those setbacks or because they're just afraid in general to just try it?
It's it's understandable. I really do. I get it. This fear is so powerful. It's I mean, it's extremely limiting. It'll always try and push you down, and it will if you let it. The best advice that I feel like I can give is like, man, it's it's like I'm really no, can't lie, this kind of stuff in me. But man, I mean, you really just gotta you gotta go for it because you can't let the fear of the unknown stop you. It's because I'll put it this way. Something that I always think about whenever I'm like, I don't know if I should do something, like if I should go for this, do that, whatever. I think about like two things. And it's one, like, I don't want to look back at my life, at something that I didn't do, that I didn't try, and feel regret for that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, one of the biggest things that I always think about is like, I don't want to live my life full of regret of things I didn't do. Sorry, I just kicked something.
No, you give it.
And it's the fear of the unknown. And I mean, yeah, you're not gonna know if it'll work out for you. But I mean, I feel like that's why you have to do it because you won't know until you try. And that's another thing that I think about all the time is that you just don't want to be racked with the thought of, well, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I go and try to strive for this? When, if you're fearful that you don't know what's going to happen, then you don't know what's going to happen. You could, if you're applying for a job, you could not get it. But guess what? If you don't know, there's also a very equal chance that you could get it.
Yeah.
It's just the fear of the unknown is such a powerful thing that it freezes people. It makes them indecisive. So I'll tell you what, in places like that where you're so indecisive, it's really nice to have decisive people with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bishara, just push you into it. As I mean, I'm doing track right now, and I wasn't even sure that I would be doing that. But my parents, they just shoved me right into it. They said, "No, you're interested. You're doing track." Okay, and I've stuck with it, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah, man.
And looking back on it, when my parents said that I should do wrestling, I'm kind of upset at myself that I didn't. So don't be like me, people. All right, you in the audience, you are our wonderful viewers. Don't be like me. Go out, try things. If you're interested in it at all, if you think that you would enjoy it at all, don't don't let fear stop you, because fear is it's I don't know, it's not real. Fear's it's all in the mind.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting take on it. 'Cause it feels so real to people,
It does.
and it feels so real to me knowing to you, to everybody. It's not you can't escape it, but it knowing that it's a mentality, I guess, depending on what I guess it gets really depending on what you're going through.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, that's cool, man. And yes, you said s to the audience to not be like you, but there's something about that. As humans, we're not always gonna always take the perfect opportunity or do what we're supposed to do, but the fact that you know that and that you're learning from it, that's what's gonna make you a better human,
Absolutely.
you know?
That's what's like people will look at like failed job interviews, fail like sports matches, whatever. Can you tell that I don't watch sports? Could you just look sports matches? Anyway, sport matches, yeah. But if you lose in a game against a team and stuff like that, like you'll obviously, you'll get down on yourself. But one always important thing is to just like look back at it, learn from it, understand why exactly, maybe you didn't get the job or why you lost the game or whatever, because failure is the greatest teacher, far more than success will ever be.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, and it sucks when you fail, though.
It does, but it's not about how you fail, it's about how you bounce back.
Ooh, yeah. So the comebacks,
Yeah.
how would you, trying to think of how to word this question. So, we talked about the setbacks,
Mhm.
the things that get you back, that
Yeah.
get you down. What would you say to the people like me and, like, a lot of people when those setbacks hit you? And we already talked about how, you just keep going, In
Yes.
the moment, though, it can be hard to be like, well, it can be hard to be like, "Well, I can see that I should keep going,
Yeah.
but if it happened one time, I don't know if it would ever happen again." Like, if these failures keep happening, what do I do then? So, what would you suggest to people to be like, "Look, I know that right now you can't see that you keep failing time after time and after time. It doesn't mean you're gonna fail once and then succeed. You could fail multiple times. What would you suggest to people who have failed multiple times but still are like, "Hey, I want this. I really do, but I'm getting down, man. These setbacks really get me."
Sorry. You could cut this out, but the first thing I thought of was the gambler's fallacy. Like, next one's got to be a win. I promise.
That's awesome. Yeah, well,
Let's do it.
maybe not in that sense.
No, no, no. But no, if you're like, okay, I'll put it this way: if you have done like, if you're again, we're just gonna use example, job interview, sports, sports game, whatever. It's sports. And if you're not getting a job from a job interview, or you keep losing to a team, then if it happens repeatedly, no matter how many times you like pick yourself back up, at a certain point, I think you need to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing. And I know that it's going to be hard to do that because you're not going to want to keep going. And during those times, I think it is the most important to have all those people in your corner, your family, your friends, whoever else you have around you, because they're the ones who are going to pick you back up. And if they don't, like I said, with those people that are bad, no good group, get away from them, because yeah, they're not going to lift you up when things get hard. Like 75 days. Did you know that Bryson's doing that? He's doing a challenge.
75 hard, baby.
Yeah. I don't know why I brought that up. I just thought about it. But you know what? That's actually pretty pertinent to what we're talking about because it's a challenge where you have to. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it's a challenge for 75 days that he's doing right now. And he actually, what, day 60 something?
Yeah, day 66. I was like 9 days away.
Yeah, he was very, very close and he failed.
Yeah,
Which
fell
is,
asleep.
yeah, he fell asleep, which, during your what, studying?
Yeah, I was like studying and reading because you have to. I actually kind of added stuff to it, like whole plunges of studying. But I fell asleep in the middle of reading my book.
And the day had passed. So unfortunately, he had failed. So now, guess what he's doing? He's doing it again.
I'm on day 12 today, or 13 actually. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, man. Yeah, and listen, I'm not trying to toot my horn with that. It's been a challenge, and I'm not. I think you should go and do something hard. The only reason I did this is because since I'm doing this podcast, I want to try to set an example. Not saying that that's the best example. It's not for everybody, but like for me, when I failed, it's like I got a choice. I could either make excuses for myself and keep
yeah,
doing these days and not feel right about it when I do hit 75,
yeah.
or I can start over, try again, and this time get more sleep so I don't fall asleep in the middle of studying.
That's
You know?
important. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, the reason that I brought that up is because I mean, I'm sure after you did fail that, like, I mean, I'm sure that was like crush. Like to sorry to put it bluntly, but like I mean, you bounce back from it, and I'm gonna flip the script on you. I'm gonna ask you what exactly helped you to keep moving.
Mm. That's cool. I don't think I may have one person ask me a
I'm gonna
question.
flip the script on
That
you.
is awesome.
I'm the questioner now.
I think what motivated me to keep going was that I wasn't ready to give up on myself yet, knowing that I've seen progress. I know that where I've come like this far from January 1st to March 13th, I guess is when I failed. Don't check the math on that. I could be wrong, but it's like, but it was just, I enjoyed myself
Mhm.
except for getting 4 hours of sleep. That's the only thing I needed to change about that.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the progress.
4 hours of sleep was not great. No, I worried about that many a time. Yeah, I was like, that's bad.
Yeah, no, man. But it was just I wasn't ready to give up on myself, and yes, it hurt when I fell because I was so close,
Yeah.
and it was it was very hard not to understand why I couldn't have just succeeded because it was like this was going so well, and
Yeah.
it's just like it happened like that.
I mean, that's how it happens, life, it'll I mean, you'll be feeling great. You'll be riding high, you'll be on cloud 9, and then life will come in with just I don't know, absolute thunderstorm and just knock you off of that cloud, send you hurtling to the ground.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to laugh at that. It's a real thing.
It wasn't a
Yeah,
funny analogy. I love it.
yeah. No, for real, and especially you were talking about that people who the thunderstorm, even though it's to us it's real,
Yeah.
to everyone it's real. So some people it's a bigger storm,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, everyone's dealing with their own different storm, but that's why I wanted to bring up your challenge because even afterwards, you didn't get discouraged. You saw how far that you had gotten to, and while it sucked that you didn't get to, complete it and feel that relief of it, you're doing it again because you know that the relief afterward is going to be worth it because it's a challenge that you're putting yourself through.
yeah,
And that's why that's what I wanted to bring attention to is that for like to finally answer your question that you asked like 10 minutes ago maybe. I don't know how long we've been talking, but for that I think that's a great way of like, continuing forward even after so many failures is that like yeah, you may have failed, but look at where you've gotten right now just off of what you've been doing. So then and I mean, if you do that and you look at the progress that you've made I think a lot of people will genuinely surprise themselves because no one, everyone likes to focus on the bad. It is, honestly, it's just how our brains work. Like, a classic thing, like, if I tell you to not think of an elephant, guess what? You thought of an elephant because I said the word.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
The human brain can't understand the not. So when you keep, like, I don't know, you bring up negative thoughts in your head, like, oh, I failed at this, I failed at that. How about instead you like your brain does, stop focusing on the negative and focus on all the positives. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that's I mean, if your brain can do it, you can too.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of your like when you say you can't do something is from your brain.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
all the time.
well, I mean, obviously, it is not to take a, but like those people who, like the dude that ran 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 different country or states. I can't remember if it
I
was,
have no idea how he did that.
yeah, that was a mind game. That was not, at that point, it was not I mean, it was a physical game, but it
Yeah.
was, at that point, you were mind to whatever you're doing at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, on that note, there's so much evidence of people who like I think there was this one guy. I don't even remember. Well, it was on some kind of show. It was called like Stanley Superhumans or whatever, where Stanley would actually go around and meet like really, impressive people. And this guy, he could literally like just like run like forever. Like he didn't get tired because I think there was something with like his brain where he didn't feel fatigue or anything. So then he just like he kept running. And I think they literally followed him in a car for like I don't even know how long. It was something crazy like 50 miles or something. And he ran the whole time. He did not stop. He didn't even look like winded or like I don't know. It was crazy to see, but like that's how much your brain ends up limiting you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Remember,
Where are we going? That was a little off topic. My bad.
that's what it's for, man. Yeah, it's seriously, it's a good conversation. Hang on one second. We'll make sure all these are connected still. Got to get all that,
Hello,
this
hello, dear
wisdom.
audience. How you doing? This is our little intermission thing. Bryson, throw up a little intermission slide. I bet you got one of those.
I need to make one, don't I?
You should make one so that I can just sit here.
Wait, Brian, that order.
Yeah, let's start. But I can just sit here and say, "Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well." At this little intermission here, you can take a quick pause break, go to the bathroom, get you a snack, drink, whatever. We'll be here when you get back.
It's the Journey Podcast P break.
And
We're tired. So,
hello, welcome back. Intermission is over. Let's get right back to it.
all right, man.
What I do that one.
That's the beauty of editing, bro. All right. So, okay. As people who are about to start their life, which is crazy to say,
Sorry for that.
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. And most people, obviously, everybody doesn't know what's going to happen, but
You got no clue.
no, you got no clue. And that stresses the crap out of people sometimes. And it does for me too. Not
Right.
knowing where my career is going to go, not knowing where anything's going to go. It's hard, but I'm excited for it. Also a little bit anxious and stressed.
Absolutely.
You know,
If you're not anxious, then, well, I don't know. You got some kind of plan or something? You know something we don't?
yeah, no, please, like, give me your wisdom for that. I'll get you on the podcast or something. But what would you, in your opinion, what would you suggest to people to be able to regulate that anxiety and stress about not knowing what's going to happen in the future, but maybe change that into a little bit of excitement and being like, look, this could be awesome.
I mean, it's all about, just flipping your mindset. But something that I really like to do to help myself with just anxiety and stuff like that in general is one, listen to music. It takes your mind off a lot of things, distracts from it. But that is the thing about most of these things is that anyway, it distracts from it, but doesn't necessarily, fix it. And that's because, anxiety is it's such a real thing, especially about, future. There's, there's not a lot that you're really going to do to make you feel comfortable about it, except getting used to the uncomfortableness. And
Yeah.
it sounds weird, but like I mean, it's been proven by like, science and stuff like that, that like, your brain can get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Like that one guy who does like cold plunges, but like in the Antarctic and like doesn't feel anything. And that's insane. Like literally like cold plunge and he's just fine. And it's all just like, it's all about the mind. It's all about the brain. So, I mean, hey, if you could take inspiration from that, great. But also like, I mean, you'll be nervous about the future. You'll feel not ready. You'll feel uncomfortable. And guess what? That's not really going to change. So get comfortable with it. That's genuinely the best advice I can give to that is like, you don't know what the future is going to hold. You're going to be anxious about it. But guess what? If you don't know what's going to happen in your future, why worry about it? You can't change anything if you don't know what's going on. So why worry?
Beautiful, man. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's awesome. All right. So we were talking a little bit earlier about
Yeah.
setbacks, and I don't know if we talked about anyway, let's talk about confidence.
Ooh, confidants.
Yeah. There you go. So a couple years ago, I guess, I don't know how long we've been friends, like ninth grade. Well, I guess we weren't great friends in ninth grade, but
We knew of each other.
yeah. Well, last time we did this podcast,
Yeah.
you were more confident,
Oh, absolutely.
but there was one major factor that was stopping you from being greater
Yeah.
than what you wanted to be, and that was
Yeah.
confidence in asking girls out.
Confidants, bro. And guess what happened?
He's got
I got bet.
Rylan a year ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we'll say that.
Yeah.
We had a conversation in the tech booth, and if you listen to episode number 1, you've heard this before.
Yeah.
About us not feeling good about ourselves self-worth wise.
Yeah.
Not feeling like we really deserved a relationship or a good relationship, like love or anything like that, and didn't feel like we were enough, I guess is what you said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually, this dude is now dating my sister, if you're cool with sharing that. I don't know if you are. Which is awesome because when we first did this podcast, he was not confident in asking her out or any of that stuff. It was like we had that conversation several times. So, dude, I'm proud of you.
I did it.
I'm proud of you.
Gentlemen, I did it.
No, for real though. For real though, being able to grow in confidence in yourself and being able to like, I mean, I've seen a lot of growth, not only in that area, because that's not what you should base your confidence on. You should base your confidence on yourself, on like who
Like
you
you.
are. Yeah.
Be focused on how goated you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, but you've grown a lot in that.
Yeah.
I can see it, and I don't know if you can see it, but being able, whenever we first were becoming friends, it was like what we talked about in the booth,
Yeah.
just not really feeling self-worthy. But now I see you, and you're like, you don't care what other people think that much.
No.
Or if you don't, you don't show it.
Yeah.
If you do, you don't show it. And you seem to be a lot more confident in yourself, especially with just, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say asking someone out is a pretty good step towards confidence.
I'll say.
Yeah.
That really forced me to put on my big boy pants and, yeah, really get to it. But yeah, I mean, was there a question there or did I miss it?
How would you, actually, I didn't get to the question part of it. Here we go. What would you suggest to people who struggle with self-confidence, in your opinion? We're not professionals, but
I am not professional. But I do happen to know something about self-confidence and not having a lot of it. And guess what? That is stinky. Bryson, cut that out.
no, it's okay. I've had it too. I have had, especially I told you that whole impact night we had,
Yeah.
the senior night when we had that moment with everybody like crowded there, and it was like everybody. I told y'all 10th grade I had zero confidence, so it's part of it.
I'll tell you what. It's also impressive to see how you've grown. Because
Thank
dude, this guy right here, he's so confident. He's I mean, dude, you've done look at you. You're doing a podcast, man. Could you imagine 10th grade you doing a podcast?
Nah, man.
Exactly. See,
No.
like that's the thing is that, I mean, I almost feel like it's what I was saying about like anxiety and fear is that you've got to look at where you've already gotten to and think like, hey, if I can, do this, if I can get high school, if I can, whatever, if I can get this job, et cetera, like focus on the things that you have done, that you have accomplished. Because, I mean, with that, you'll I don't know, you'll just naturally grow and develop. And again, I'll say it a million times, surround yourself with good people. Because, man, if it wasn't for this guy right here, I don't know that I'd be near as confident as I am.
And vice versa, bro. For real.
It's
You guys,
it's the people around you. Yeah, it really makes a whole lot of difference.
it does. Yeah. And it's crazy, man. It's small steps. Uh,
Absolutely.
you know, you've obviously had small steps, and so have I. With like 3 years ago, I decided, hey, I'm going to work on this because I hate the way I feel about myself. I hate the way I feel about life in general. So I'm still not where I want to be. I'm far from it. You know, it's it. You never arrive, but you got to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the point of like a like no, not to set like an unrealistic goal, but to set a goal of who you want to be. I feel like you'll almost never reach that. And if you do, congratulations. Round of applause for you. No idea how you did that. That's really impressive. If you got to exactly where you want to be, I mean, hey, hats off to you. I mean, that's the thing is you'll set a goal for your ideal self, and every day you'll be working towards that. Because I something that I think about all the time is that whenever I get like down on myself and I'm upset that I don't know, didn't throw as far as I wanted to or whatever, I just think like, all right, am I better from myself? Am I better than myself from like a week ago? Am I better than I was when I started? Whatever. Like, and it's every day, it's those little steps, those micro improvements that genuinely, I mean, help me keep going, help me strive to be better and better because I wanted to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, I think you said a quote about that the
I
first time.
think I think so, yeah, and I mean, hey, it's still stuck with me, and look where I am now,
Yeah,
back on the podcast.
that's it, man. You're gonna have those moments where you look back and be like, I went positive, or you're gonna look back and be like, I went negative.
Yeah,
I went backwards, which is okay. You still gotta be you're gonna be happy with yourself if you're going in a positive direction. Because you can't
yep,
be disappointed by not being perfect because you're not gonna be.
yeah,
But moving in that positive direction is the goal. That's why, this podcast exists for me because I want to be able to move in a positive direction.
yeah. I'll put it like this, you can always, like you can, like, maybe go negative, you cannot do as well as you wanted to, and I'll say this, it's fine to look back at what you did, but never go back. Always step forward. One foot in front of the other. You I don't really like the saying like one step forward, two steps back or whatever like
Oh
it
yeah,
is like no, that's not what that is. All right? Yeah, like every single moment so long as you are trying to improve, you are always taking a step forward and bettering yourself. Now, you might stumble, you might fall, but you're always going to get back up so long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah, man. Wow, that's good. Because you're not gonna see, especially if you're taking small steps, you're not gonna see improvement right away.
Yeah, and I mean that it's gonna be marginal, and I mean, but hey, if that's how you have to start, then I mean that's how you start. That's how most people start on it. Yeah, it's always with like the small steps, and then as you work up, you can maybe take bigger steps, but don't like. I'll put it this way: don't try to jump to the top step on the first go, because you're gonna trip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna land flat on your face.
Tumble down to the first.
Yep.
Yeah.
If not to just below the first ground level.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So speaking on that subject about going forward,
Yeah.
that takes a level of drive.
Yeah.
So I'm paraphrasing this, but David Goggins, and
Mhm.
you know who he is, and I'm not saying David Goggins is for everyone. There's some motivational speak. Like I love Dry Creek Dry Creek Dwayne, where he talks about it's okay to sit and relax and you know think.
Yeah.
That's okay. David Goggins though is the guy that's like never stop running, but it's like they're different. So I'm gonna kind of go in the middle of that here.
Yeah.
So his paraphrasing is winners have discipline, not motivation, because motivation is a temporary feeling
Yeah.
of like, oh yeah, let's go, let's do this. I listened to Motiversity episode. I'm ready to just go run through a wall.
Yeah.
And driven is being like, hey, I don't feel like doing this at all, but I'm gonna go do it because I know
Yeah.
that it's gonna help me be better.
Yeah.
So how could we use? this ideology when it comes to people like us and people who like are listening to this, who are trying to start a life that we want, or just someone who is tired of where they are and what they want to, and they want to start something new, such as at an old job and they don't like it anymore and they want to go to something they love. Instead of just waiting for the motivation feeling of being like, yes, I'm going to do this. Well, how can we strive to be driven and
I mean,
disciplined?
the thing is that one is definitely a lot better than the other. Being driven is a whole lot better than just temporary motivation. But I think that drive can be brought on by motivation. Because, I mean, motivation is like, you're in the moment and, you feel good. You feel ready to do anything, run through brick wall or whatever you say. But I mean, I think with motivation and the motivation that you get from other people, I don't know, music videos, whatever helps to motivate you, you can also use to help drive you. Because then you was like, I don't know, you love your motivational quotes.
I do.
This man loves his motivational quotes. And I mean, I would say that like it's not just like temporary motivation. You're very driven to keep with that stuff. And that I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think that if you have something you want to achieve and you're going for it, then you're already driven to do that. But you can use motivation to help you push yourself further and increase your drive to want to do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do more, be better,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I appreciate that, man. And you see a lot of drive in you too with your weightlifting and stuff. This dude can,
I
what
love
was it?
lifting.
Deadlift 500 or
Squat
squat
500.
500, which is even more impressive. That's awesome.
I love lifting weights. It's my favorite
It's
activity.
a good stress reliever. It really is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So what drives you?
What drives me?
Yeah.
Me? It's I don't know. I don't know. Um, man, it's such a hard thing to think about because like that's like what I mean, and it makes me think of like because this is a question that I love to ask people, whether I know them for a while or not, and it kind of lets me know what kind of person they are, and it's what are you passionate about,
Yeah.
like, and I'll tell you what, if you can find a person that can answer that question like right off the bat, get some tips from them because clearly they know what they want to do.
What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? Lifting weights.
There you go. Yeah. That's
Jesus.
yeah, for real. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah. Um, and I mean, it's genuinely like, I don't know. What drives me to be better is the want to be better. I really can't say it any more simple than that. I don't know, like I see what I can do. All the impressive things like, squatting 500, like you were saying. And I see that and I'm like, man, I wonder if I could do better.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me is that almost childlike wonder I have for seeing if I could do more than, what I just did. If I could do more, if I could reach a higher level, just, see how far I can go.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Because yeah, and I think it's exciting to be like, look, what if I could? What if I could
Yeah.
go further?
Hey,
You know,
what if I do it?
what if one day you squat 800 pounds?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That it would be awesome.
I would feel so awesome about that.
You'd be like tree logs for legs.
Heck yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would be insane. Hey, maybe that's my next goal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the next goal is 600. I don't even know if we have enough weight for that.
we'll find them. We'll invent more weight.
We will invent more weight.
I'll go sit on the. We'll have me and Evan sit on the side of the.
You'll sit on the sides of the bar with the weights. All right.
Yeah, I'll do it, bro. All right, all right. This podcast is. It started off. It's a lot more now than just a positive growth mindset. I feel like we talk about a lot more, but it was based off of a positive growth mindset, which, in my opinion, is like what we talked about earlier with setbacks. How can I grow from this? How can I grow from good and the setbacks of opportunities that come my way?
Yeah.
So, what is the purpose of having a positive growth mindset, in your opinion?
What is the purpose
Yeah.
of getting better, developing to get better and develop? I don't know, right? Like what? But I'll put it this way: if you don't want to have a positive growth mindset, and just you're not like motivated, you're not driven or anything like that. I mean, I don't know, man. I guess you're happy where you are, or maybe you just don't feel like putting in the effort. But
Which good for you
I
if you are happy
hey,
with where you are.
if you're that's great, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I salute you, but I don't know. I I don't think I've ever met a single person that could really say that they are happy exactly where they are and
No.
wouldn't want to have more or do more or whatever. Like, because, people are always striving for things, trying to do things. Heck, man, I'm striving to try and figure out what I want to do after school.
And that's okay not to know.
Yeah, no, that's completely fine. I'm figuring it out. I've only got like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Last,
It's crazy.
we're graduating soon.
Crazy to
That's
think
weird.
about that. Yeah.
Sobering thoughts with the Journey podcast.
Yeah.
Shoot, man. Positive growth mindset, growth, and mindset. What's the question again?
Yeah. So having a positive growth mindset. A lot of people don't think I could probably rephrase this question to make it a little easier for you. So
Hit me with it.
when Claire came on my last episode,
Yeah.
we talked about the purpose of being positive.
Yeah.
Because some people don't.
Yeah.
You go in the morning
And why?
or in the afternoon, whenever your range of, hey, I got this. This is my moment for my mind is the strongest.
Yeah.
Some people don't see the point in even trying to be that positive go getter kind of person where it's like, hey, I'm going to grow from this and I'm going to take you with me because we're going to do this together. And it's going to be positive. I'm going to help
Yeah.
you and you can help me and we're going to do it together and we're going to be positive about situations. They don't see the point because they're like, life is life, and life sucks sometimes. It really does.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but like, why you gotta be negative, bro? Let me answer your question with a question. All right. Like, I don't know. I really can't understand those people. What do they get from like being so negative about everything and not seeing the like, positive side or, just, being motivated like that. Like, I mean, I suppose I could understand like it's a lot easier to be negative, but
Yeah,
like, I don't know, does that make you happy? I wouldn't think so.
definitely not. What about the people who've gone through really bad situations? And I know that's hard to answer because we're not professionals.
I am nowhere near a professional, and I mean, yeah, I with that I can definitely understand like, you've gone through some stuff. Obviously, I have no clue what that would be like because I haven't experienced, I mean, there's no way that I could know what people have experienced.
Yeah,
So there's no way that I can give actual professional advice. And I mean, that's what makes this question so hard is that I'm not a professional. I don't know the answer.
yeah, and that's what makes podcasts like this hard because we talk about, oh, be positive, go get it. It's hard for people who my heart goes out to people who've really gone through bad situations.
Yeah.
Like I know a family right now that's going through a situation where their dad just got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to share any of that because I don't even know if they want me to, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to. But
Yeah.
it's my heart goes out to them because it's going to be hard for them to come every day and bring that positive attitude.
Yeah.
But I think the purpose of this, when we talk about it, and the reason we talk about it, and go into this deep, hard side of this, where it's like life is going to throw really bad situations in here. I know you've been through situations of loss and different things like that, and losing people in your life, and
Yeah.
it's you know some life sucks sometimes. There's
Yeah.
definitely different ways to put that, but before this podcast, I'm gonna say life sucks. It really does sometimes. And I think the purpose of trying to have a positive growth mindset is being like, I mean, people who go through those situations and come out at the other end are a lot stronger for it.
Yeah.
And I hate it for them. And I wish I could, anybody. I mean, everybody goes through bad things.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you guys. And I know a lot of people who they don't know me probably that well.
But you don't know me either.
Yeah,
Or at
but
least like 10 of you maybe do.
yeah.
You've seen me around. Hi.
Yeah, for real. Listen, you know, it's really hard for me to speak about this because I'm not a professional, but
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for both of us. Genuinely, like, I'm fairly sure you always put this in the beginning as a disclaimer, but, like, if you're going through, like, really hard stuff and you genuinely don't know what to do, go to a professional.
yeah,
We don't know what you're doing.
for real.
I mean, I mean, that's I've had some things go on in my life, and, what helped me was talking to, one of our professionals at our church, Ike.
Mm,
Like, it helped me after my, brother moved away to college because I didn't really know how to handle that, guy with me for, you know, 17, I think it was 16 years at that point. No, it would have to have been a little less. Anyway, he was a part of my life for, years, and then having him just so suddenly move away, like, permanently for a bit, like, yeah, that, I mean, I wasn't sure how to deal with that. And I mean, no one around me did either, except for, professionals. That's why it's their
yeah.
job.
And don't be afraid to reach out to them either. That's
Yeah.
what they're there for.
That literally that Ooh, like, literally their entire job is to help people. So,
Yeah. Yeah, this podcast is mainly for, like, people, people say a lot of these podcasts and eventually when this grows, if it does, I wanna have professionals on here, but having people like Rylan, who is, like, a dear friend to me, who's walking this life together is sometimes a lot of times it's just as inspirational for 2 dudes to sit in a room and do a podcast and be like, "Look, this is what I've learned through this time and this," and be like, "This
yep,
is what my definition is." It might not be the professional opinion, but we're journeying through this together. It's the journey. It's not the journey because I'm trying to tell you how to live your life. It's the journey because I'm living it with you.
yeah,
And
sure.
I'm having people on here because it's like, "Hey, look, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes I don't like what I see in the mirror in the morning. I don't like to do days sometimes, you know?"
Yeah,
And it's part of it is part of it. And it's, I'm nowhere near where I wanna be, but I think this will help me get there.
yeah. I mean, shoot, for all we know, everything we're saying is, like, not even close to the professional opinion at all. Maybe we're just wrong. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I try to not to have questions where we can be like, it's actually really, yeah, extremely wrong. But like sometimes on the other podcasts, they'll be like, "What is the brain doing whenever negative thoughts come into it?" And so it's like, yeah, I don't know all that stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, I am gonna get a degree hopefully in some of this stuff though. So
Oh, that's interesting.
while flying planes, that's
Yeah,
the
this
goal.
guy flies planes.
Or
If
I'm working on it.
it wasn't obvious by his plain necklace.
Yeah, I'm working on.
Flying planes.
Yeah.
Planes. Planes. I wasn't sure if that last one was loud enough.
There you go. That works. That works. Yeah. All right. So, as you know, because you've been on here before, that I asked this question called the younger self question.
Mm.
And for the people who have never watched my podcast before and are coming to watch now, the younger self
Thanks for
question,
picking me. I appreciate you.
yeah, yeah. The younger self question is I ask everybody at the end of the episodes, what is 3 lessons that you would give your younger self, I guess from elementary school till now, what you've lived, what you've experienced before you never saw them again. And I know this changes, but since it changes, 6 months ago, your responses to this question was to love yourself. You were going to fail, but it's not the end, and try new things and go after what you love. If it has changed, what has changed in this last 6 months about those answers?
Shoot, man, I don't know. I was kind of spitting back there. I don't know. I don't know that anything really changed. Honestly, I feel like what's helped me grow and develop was honestly just saying those things to myself.
Yep.
I think it's probably what's helped me develop so far. So I mean, honestly, from what I said there, I don't know. Can't really imagine what I would change about it. Because I mean, good rule of thumb. Uh, it's gotten me to where I am right now. So you know, can't really say that I'd want to change it that much.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. I also asked this question.
Yeah. Oh, new question. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know this one.
I think I asked. We'll see. So at 6 months ago, I asked how I could help you.
Yeah.
And your response, if I can remember right, because I actually didn't write this part down, which I should have. But your response, if I can remember right, was just showing up and being there.
Yeah.
How can I continue to help you if it's changed?
dude, you keep showing up, and I mean, again, me personally, I think I was just spitting back there like 6 months ago. Clearly, that like something just aligned with like my sickness, the bad audio, and that day I was feeling it. If it's clearly, I mean, dang, I said that.
Mm.
I said that.
Yeah, you said keep about the helm or the 3 questions.
All
Lessons.
I said that.
Yeah, man, you did.
Man, I'm awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, bro, for real. And you threw a couple anime quotes in there too.
I did. You know why? Because I love anime.
Yeah.
I've still continued to watch it. Anyway, but I mean, yeah. No, I mean, from like everything that I've said in this, keep showing up, man. Keep being you, because I mean, you're the guy who's helped me get this far. You know, one of the like closest friends, like genuinely, excluding my brother and my girlfriend, I would probably say my best friend right now.
It's awesome, man. Same here, man. For real.
Yeah.
For real, man.
But
And
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I've been saying all podcasts, like, you know, surround yourself with good people, and guess what? You're pretty good people.
yeah, you too, man. You too, for real. And I want to acknowledge you, man, for how far you've come and for being. I appreciate your friendship, man. For real. It's really helped me get as well where I'm at right now. You know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you also taking the annoying times when I'm like, dude, let's get up and work out. And, and it's like it's a you know it's not everybody's thing, and I've had to work on that too because I kind of dump my crazy motivational drives on
Yeah.
people at times.
It
But
is it's great. It is I do love thinking about it at times when I'm maybe not feeling as motivated. I'm like, man, Bryson would be getting me up to move right now. Like, all right, let's get to it.
no, I
Yeah. I it's fun because you know you're very driven, but you also have those times where you like just shoot up with motivation like crazy.
I don't really, I got to work on regulating the amount of times that I try to get people to do what. Yeah, not everybody's gonna get up in the morning. That's okay. Actually, I've been doing bad about that lately. I gotta get it back on it. So,
This guy,
but
this guy right here, he's waking up at like 6 or whatever, and he's like, nah, it's not early enough.
yeah, but hey,
He's doing fine. All right, don't let him convince you otherwise. This guy's doing amazing. All right.
you too, man. I appreciate it. And I can always do better. We always can. Every single one of us. I'm not where I want to be, and we're gonna keep going. Yeah, me too. But I acknowledge you for how far you've come and the confidence that you've achieved in these last couple of years that I've known you, and hopefully, even past high school, we'll continue to have a good friendship, and
Sure, absolutely.
maybe in the next 6 months you come back on and we'll talk about how far we've
Dude,
come then.
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe I'll be episode 20, guys.
yeah,
Could you imagine that?
that'd be cool.
Full year from when you last interviewed me? That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We'll have to have the 6 month like
Yeah.
that's our marker. We'll do it again.
That's every 6 months. I come on. It's the Rylan Thrasher special. The Thrashen Special.
There you go. We gotta. Should I name this that?
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
please do. I'm begging you.
That's awesome. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all listening to episode number 9. And Rylan, thank you so much for coming on, man. Go ahead. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be back on. You know, I've got plenty of things to talk about and plenty more when you get me back on.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do a part 3, man.
Part 3.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to episode number 9. I appreciate y'all tuning in. The quote of the week this week is success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. That's Winston Churchill. Just remember, guys, to always love others first. And I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see y'all next time. Oh, actually, remember to follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now the iHeart app. And subscribe to me to YouTube. I also have a new website out. If you go to brysonray.com, it'll pull it right up. So, awesome. Yeah. Thank y'all for listening. I'll see y'all next time.
Hold on.